Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Struthers, Frameline's Director of Exhibitions and Programming. I hope you all enjoyed the wonderful film Breaking Fast, and you're in for a treat for this live Q&A. Perfect timing. Before we begin, I'd like to say a massive thanks to our ASL interpreter, Pillar. Thanks so much for being here tonight. And also, up next, we have our special guests for the night, the Breaking Fast cast and crew, who are going to come on and introduce themselves and tell us about what they did for Breaking Fast.
Hello, I'm Michael Cassidy. I play Cal in the film.
Hey everyone, my name is Amin El Gamal and I played Sam.
Oh, hi, I'm Haaz and I play Mo.
Hey everybody, my name is Christopher and I play John.
Hi, I'm Mike. I was the writer-director.
And I'm Seth. I was one of the producers on the movie.
Okay, excellent. And for everyone who's viewing, please note we're going to have a 30-minute Q&A. I'm going to ask questions for around 20 minutes, and then we'll take your questions from the comments. And remember, we are live with some special guests, so please be nice.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can.
Oh.
Okay. The first question is for the director, Mike.
Hi.
Hi. So good to finally meet you because we've been emailing for months. So it's a delight to meet you. I'll say that first off.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay, I've got two questions for you. The first question is...
I can't hear you, Paul.
I can hear him just fine.
Oh, I can't hear him. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Go ahead, Paul.
No worries. Two questions. The first is, the logo for your film company, is that you and your grandmother? And secondly, due to that, is this film based on your life in some way, as the grandmother is such an important part of Breaking Fast?
I really appreciate the question. Yes, that is me and my grandmother when I was 5. And she accompanied me on a kindergarten field trip. And I used to get really, really upset at the thought that people thought this was an autobiographical film. But I've now learned to embrace that because there is a part of me in every character. It is, in a sense, an autobiographical film. However, it's not based on my life, other than the characters all represent sort of a different part of my own journey.
Thanks. I'm glad to know all that. I've got a question for you, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to see a film about gay Muslim. It's so needed always.
Mm-hmm.
As a producer, was this a challenging film to finance?
I think it was. It's been about 4 years since we started the Breaking Fast journey. We started it with a short that was financed, I think, with help from our friends and people that we knew. And then we used the short film and took it on the festival circuit where we met a lot of people, but it took about 3 years to develop it into a feature and finally find the people that we met along the way who were willing to come on board and invest.
Yeah.
3-year process.
Well, congrats, it worked out and it looks really good.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got a question for all 4 actors. Haaz, Michael, Amin, and Christopher. Welcome back. I'm keen to know what attracted you all to playing your roles, and of course, the casting process. Tell us all. Starting with Haaz.
Did he address me? Because I can't hear him. I can't hear you, Paul. I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything he said.
Okay, I'll ask the question. I'll type the question.
I can't hear you. I can hear. I was able to hear Seth and Mike before, but not you for some reason. Like, Michael, can you say something?
Michael, if you go first, and then I'll ask the question.
Oh, I can hear you. I mean, can you say something?
Yeah, so the question is what attracted us to our roles, and tell us a little bit about the casting process. And in my case, I just my agent sent me the script, and I don't know people who have had this kind of relationship, this sort of like the combination of cultures and the combination and challenges of religion and orientation and all these things all in one romantic relationship. And at the same time, the script felt so familiar to me. Like the underpinning of what it means to love someone and how that's not enough to just like make everything okay is like a subject that feels very universal and very close to me. And so I understood it on that level. And then in the casting process, I just very simply read the script, had that experience, and then bothered Mike Mosallam until he agreed with me that I should play the part.
Amin, would you like to go next?
Sure. I am a queer Muslim Egyptian American. So I was very excited when I first heard about this film, because I've never seen a character like Sam, and even Haaz's character, that has so much self-love and acceptance and these same identity intersections and so much joy. And the representation is obviously important. I've never ever seen characters like that growing up, so that's a huge contribution, I think, to the world that Mike has done. But even deeper than that, the film's themes of getting out of your own way in order to be available to find love really resonate with me, I think, and they will resonate with everyone. So that was really exciting. And I auditioned. I knew Mike and Seth before, but they didn't think I could be funny. So.
Christopher?
Yeah, similar to Amin, I have always been attracted to stories about faith and about sexuality. That when those two stories intersect, because so much we are, or at least for me, my experience growing up in like an evangelical Christian world, like sexuality was so looked down upon. Even heterosexuality, right? Like it should only look like this, it should only be like this. Like, and so I just find that so interesting and complicated in all religions, especially ones that blend a little to the right or that tend to be a little bit more strict. And when someone can say that, hey, I'm gay, but I also like believe this, and both sides, the gay community and the religious community, go like, but no, you can't be gay and believe in Jesus, or you can't be gay and be Muslim, or you can't be or you can't be a Christian and be gay. All those conversations, I'm just very, very fascinated with those. And anytime there's a project artistically to be involved in, that's in anywhere in that space, I'm like, I'm in. And then in regards to the audition process, I made some self-tapes, which we actors do all the time, and I never book any of them. And so when this happened to work out, I was excited. And Mike, our writer-director, comes from the theater world, and that's like my secret passion as well. So being able to work with a fellow theater artist in a different medium was exciting to me. And it's always fun to play the dick in a story.
Haaz, can you hear me?
Haaz, can you hear Paul?
No, I can't. So is he telling me to speak?
I couldn't hear Christopher, so there's something weird happening.
I can't hear Paul, but anyways, he's telling me to talk?
Yeah, so
Okay.
what attracted you to the script, and what was the audition process like, I guess?
Yeah, well, I didn't audition for it. That's number one. That's how lucky I was. It really was a magical thing that happened, like breaking fast for me. It was really unexpected. It was a really pleasant surprise. I hope Mike doesn't hate me after what I'm about to say, but initially I didn't take him seriously. was like, oh, it's cute. Oh, that's Mike. He's from Dearborn, where I'm, where my ex-wife is from. He's like family. But little did I know that that guy was pretty. I don't know how. He's pretty brilliant. Like he's sat down with me during like when we were rehearsing the singing, and he was playing the piano and giving me the notes that I have to sing in the song. I'm like, when did you actually? I didn't know that you knew how to do all of this. It was really, to me, the discovery of Mike was the magic of that was also shown to me in the script, in the screenplay. So for me, I came into this from a place of love. This is like, if I was an A-list actor, this would be the kind of stuff I would be doing or wanting to do. Like, I would be proud to be part of something like this. And let's say I'm George Clooney or Brad Pitt. I'd be like, hell yeah, that's something I want to be a part of. And I think these are human stories. Look, Black Lives Matter right now, like stories that need to be told about people either that are being outcast or pushed aside or made less than. The queer community suffered from that. And I think there's a lot of parallels like what we're seeing today. And I think this film is so important. And for me, that when you said what attracted me to it is like the ability to give a voice, maybe, or a voice to the voiceless. Okay, that's corny, but like maybe bring visibility to those some people that are not really visible, which is really important. I think now that we have phone cameras, the world is different. Like the truth is coming out, and I think movies like this are not only honest but hopeful in a way that, as Amin, I would say, like, I'm also an Arab gay Muslim man. I was raised Muslim. I'm not a practicing Muslim. However, I believed in Islam all the way, and I thought I was going to go to hell for the longest time. But I think to see a story like this where we can identify with someone like us, but who's actually loved and accepted for who they were fully, and not just that, to embrace, like, for instance, in the story with Mo and Cal, like the fact that how Mo's family embraced him at the end. Oh my God, like I wish my family was like that. And so watching this film for me, like, it gives me hope. It's like I wish when I was a kid growing up, a teenager in Lebanon, I wish I had a movie like that to see and to feel like, oh, I can have that. This could be mine. And I think this is the power of what we can do as storytellers.
Thanks everyone for the beautiful answers. And yeah, representation is so important, 100%. I've got a question for Mike, the director. If you want to come back on screen, please. Mike.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back. Talking about representation, the film looks at being gay and Muslim, and for once, both aren't in conflict. Can you tell us more about this important representation? And thanks so much for it. It's so needed right now.
I appreciate you thanking me, and I am so grateful for the question. But I don't think it's revelatory that those two identities aren't in conflict. I know that the narrative for so many people is that they are, and that so many people are living lives in which a cultural religious perspective sort of takes over what their identity can be, and people live in such a sort of a sad experience that really hurts my heart that people have to go through that. But my faith would never never call for anyone to mistreat another human. So I can't. I think when I think about that happening, I get really sad, and I think about how people have made such a perversion out of my faith and allowed to justify such treatment against humanity.
Yeah, thank you. The next question is for Michael and Haaz. Hi, Michael. And if you can relay the question, and Haaz, I've put it in the comments box in case you can't hear me. Your scenes together are just so magical. Especially, I love the start when you're walking around together. They're so natural and real. How did you manage to attain this authenticity of the beginnings of love?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for calling our acting natural and real. That's pretty much the goal. Haaz, I'm going to try and creatively include what Paul has asked us in case you can't see that. But
Don't worry about
I mean, the two things that immediately jump into my mind, Paul, are that the words being spoken in the film are exactly word for word what was written on the page. So the writing is that real, and that it comes out naturally because it's written naturally, and it's easy to learn and act because it's written naturally. And then the second thing is that, like Haaz said before, we were fortunate enough to have rehearsal time. And that is, I mean, I don't know. I think in independent film and beyond, in terms of budget, rehearsal time is like very rare. It's generally something you do so that the crew can see what you're about to shoot. And then you do all your other work as an actor on your own. And Haaz and I spent a lot of time together and with Mike working the words. Not a lot compared to theater, but a lot for film. And I think we were in a natural and real place by the time we showed up for the rehearsal on the day on set. So that's what I have to say.
I mean, for me, it really is a testament to Mike. I remember when we were looking for our Cal, because that was like a big decision, like who's going to be our Cal, you know? And we're like thinking about, but initially, I guess, can I be honest? I guess I'll be honest, whatever. He was like, oh, it's hard to find like good gay actors. So like, let's expand the radius. So we're like being open-minded about, okay, maybe possibly casting someone who's not gay, which is not really the focus. The focus was who would be the right actor to portray that character. And to me, that I was so impressed with Mike's intuition to have picked Michael, because Michael, like he even described Michael to me before I met Michael, which I really moved me and said a lot about Mike. And also said a lot about Michael. He was like, Michael is a light. He is love in a way. Like the way he said it to me, said that Michael is someone who is, you know, a global citizen, maybe you could say, and who has empathy and compassion and no judgment. Like he, as a straight man, like he has no whatsoever. I felt more uncomfortable with the kiss than he did. And I was like, you know, no, like, I'm fine. What are you talking about? You're very pretty, Haaz. So he was always trying to make me feel comfortable. And for me, what I was trying to get at, the reason why I think truly in my heart of hearts that we were able to get there is, yes, absolutely. What Michael was saying, the writing is there. And we did work on it with Mike. And Mike is the heart. And he has a beautiful heart, Mike. To write something like that, you have to have a big heart. And for me and Mike, it was really an act of love, this film. And Michael like came with us, absolutely, and even lifted us even higher. Like, and that was so beautiful to me because the magic happened because I cared so much. Mike cared so much. Michael cared so much. And I think that so much care and passion and wanting, you know, to collaborate on something like this, that I think is so human and also like creative in a very joyous way. I feel like it makes people happy, and that's a great thing. And yeah, I think that is probably to me why it happened this way. And you know, and he's not, you know, he's a pretty good looking man, so that made it easier. Sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. I know. Sorry.
Cool. I've got a question for Amin next, please. Hi, welcome back. First off, stand up. What does it say on your top? Yes, Black Lives Matter. Love it.
We have to keep saying it until it's true.
For sure, 100%. Okay, I love your character of Sam so much. Can you tell us how you prepared for this role and got into playing this fascinating character?
Not to sound repetitive, but the writing, the jokes were so funny and tight, and the writing was so clever and smart that it really didn't take a lot of, I feel like I didn't have to really do all that much. I think what's really amazing about Sam is he takes this sort of gay best friend stereotype and sort of like entertains you with that, and then like turns it on his head. Like there's a lot of heart and depth to him as well. So that was a joy. And it was a marathon for me. It was challenging. Because I'm Middle Eastern, I've often been put in these roles that are kind of problematic or like aggressively dark or, very dramatic. And the pace of comedy is very different. It's very technical. And Mike really helped me shape the rhythm of the character. And sometimes I felt like I was talking so fast and doing so much and so loud that I didn't have my bearings, and he was with me every step in the way, helping orchestrate it. And the final result, I think, speaks for itself. So it was a lot of like technical preparation just to make sure I knew those words inside and out. I also speak Egyptian Arabic, which is really different from Lebanese Arabic, and it was really important to Mike that be part of the film. So I spent a lot of time trying to adjust my accent for those bits. So yeah, a lot of it was just technical, making sure I hit the beats. And I don't know if I would have been able to get there without Mike. I feel really grateful that he is as intelligent a storyteller as much as he has a big heart.
Yeah, for sure. I love this story arc of your character because he's the fun, happy best friend, and then all of a sudden he has to get real. And I love the switch. So congrats, you did it so well.
That's the really exciting part about this role, because he entertains you and he sort of endears you, but he also has a lot of deep wisdom. And I think we talked about this. I don't know how much. I think we talked about this with Mike, that there's like a maternal. There's sort of like almost like an Arab mom or grandma or matriarch in him in some ways, which I thought was really interesting. I think anyone from that culture would sort of recognize some of that. I think he was an important counter argument to Haaz as sort of like everyone loves everyone, everything is fine, I think he was an important anchor to counter him. And just honestly, it was just so much. I had so much fun just being allowed to have joy and be funny and not be like, oh, I'm gay and Muslim, It was like, just fuck it, have fun. Just embrace who you are. There's really inherently no conflict. And obviously we're privileged being in the US and being able to, we have a little bit more freedom to do that than other people do. But I think and I've said this before in Q&As, the brilliant thing about this movie is it takes this form that's very digestible, the rom-com. I'm going on. I will shut up soon, I promise. But it takes this very digestible form that's very entertaining, and it's like very quietly subversive. So as you enjoy the tropes that you've come to love in a rom-com, and your heart is expanding, you're also learning a lot about different cultures and different intersections of identity. And the rom-com, if nothing else, is presenting an ideal of who deserves love, of the world that we want to see. And Mike does that so brilliantly in this movie.
Indeed. And this is a perfect pivot to our first audience question, which is for everyone. Why do you think the rom-com genre is so popular and something that is attractive to marginalized groups who somehow need to make it their own?
I can start. Well, I think like so much of what I personally learned about love was from Julia Roberts movies in the 90s. And I really like still, even now as a 40-year-old man, like still imagine that my love life will turn out like hers.
It will, Mike. It will.
Yes.
Yeah. Preferably less my best friend's wedding and more I'm not a prostitute, but whatever.
Notting Hill.
Notting Hill's my favorite. Yes, good one. So I really think, you know, when marginalized groups can believe that their love can be like Julia Roberts, I think that, you know, we'll all elevate our own stations and opinions about ourselves, and thus the world will too. Basically, Haaz, you're the gay Muslim Julia Roberts.
I mean, I'm like, I can't even believe it, honestly. I don't know what to do with myself.
You know, I don't know what to do with you either.
Me and my big mouth. She does have a big mouth too, by the way.
Okay, well, let's just, and Michael, what is your thoughts?
Yes, you know, I don't have much to add. I think that answer is beautiful, and I agree with it completely.
I'll just say, I think that rom-coms are so popular because they're so digestible, and in the wrapping of comedy, you can subversively challenge what people think about others. And I think so many rom-coms, this one included, are about an aspirational world. The world of Breaking Fast might not exist in real life, but it is possible to make a world where that exists. And it's aspirational.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, stand-up comedy is a great example of that. Like, stand-up comedians can, like, talk about anything and get away with it because they're making people laugh. And I think there's that element of making people laugh. You could talk about heavy stuff and actually be able to maybe get to people in a way that it doesn't feel heavy-handed or just hitting it right on the nose. And so I think in that sense, it just makes it more enjoyable. Rather than like really heavy and you know, long and dreadful.
Okay, thanks very much. I've got time for a couple more questions before I ask the final question. Seth, I'd just love to know, what are the plans for the film? When is it going to be released? Have you got distribution? Because we just want to be able to tell everyone where and when they can see it next.
I wish I could
Be careful. Be careful.
I wish I could say, I think that we will be able to make an announcement in the next month or so. But for now, we have like a host of other virtual screenings. We're very happy to be at Frameline right now. It's kind of a dream come true.
Absolutely.
But you can go to our website, breakingfastfilm.com, and see a list of our other virtual screenings if you're not in California. And there we'll post an announcement in about a month about distribution and a theatrical release.
Okay, thanks. I've actually got two more questions. Mike, there's so much food in the film. Was it for show or were there actually daily feasts?
Oh God, for show. You would never come to an Arab's house and have food for show. No, it wasn't. We insisted that everybody ate everything and none of that food went to waste. And I think, I'm pretty sure cast and crew all gained about 5 pounds on the shoot.
Definitely did. We worked with a great local restaurant, Open Sesame, in West Hollywood, and they were great partners on the food.
Okay, cool. And the final question for everyone to answer is, what impact do you hope the film is going to have for all that see it?
For me personally, oof, it'll make me cry. You know, I really hope that do you want to go?
Well, I just hope that people will see these. I think what's unique about the film is the characters that it highlights, and I hope that it will go. I hate to use the word normalize, but I hope that it will just normalize. And I really hope audiences embrace it for that.
Yeah, I think a lot about it. I think a lot about people who see this film and see themselves in it, and see a life and a future that could be theirs. And I hope and I pray to God that this film allows those people to find that peace within themselves. And I think also a tremendous amount about the privilege of the experience of the characters in this film and how it can very easily not be the experience of a lot of people within the queer and Muslim communities. And I am totally aware of the sort of ideal scenario we're painting here, and I am by no means dismissing the difficulty and the strife that people go through. And I pray that this could offer just a hint of levity in what must be a very burdensome life.
I'll go next. I feel basically the same way. I hope that the only thing I would add is that I hope people feel a little uncomfortable maybe in between the jokes. I think the jokes are paced perfectly, but I hope that there's like a 14-year-old version of me that sees this and gets uncomfortable and asks questions about that and keeps paying attention because the jokes are funny.
I hope that people, when they see it, they believe anything is possible.
My quick little just add on to that is going back to faith communities that might be opposed to homosexuality or gay relationships, that someone will see this film and laugh and cry, and that person will recommend that film to their aunt or to their mother, and that person will watch this film, and that person will change someone's life because they have a gay son or a gay daughter. And if it hits one or two people in this world, this film will have been worth it.
Yeah, I want a young, gay or queer Muslim person to see themselves, to see that they are worthy of love. Oh my God. I know. To put a little more lightness in their steps wherever they may be on their journey. We're also really hungry for representation in terms of Arab culture and Arab American culture. So I really hope that there are Arabs who flock to this movie and Muslims who flock to this movie and are really excited about the rom-com and then are sort of like, wait a minute, what? Oh, okay. And that it can open their minds and their hearts. And the same thing with the gay community. There's a lot of Islamophobia internally there too. So I hope they're like, oh yay, it's that Frameline, it's that Outfest, gay rights. And then they learn a little bit more about Islam and maybe open their hearts and minds a little bit more.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, a massive thanks to Pilar, our ASL interpreter. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a massive thanks to the Breaking Fast team. Thanks so much for sharing your film and your views tonight. It's been an absolute delight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Frameline.
Thank you.
All. What an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Happy Pride.
Happy
Thank you.
Pride.
Happy Pride.